All right, let's go ahead and cut through the crap. And I'm only going to make one video today because there's really only one thing people want to talk about, and that's what happened last night. In my personal opinion regarding the debates, there was one line that superseded all others and largely dictated who won that debate, but I'm going to save that for the very end. For those of you that want an overview of how things went for Joe and for Trump, go look at the Kennedy versus Nixon debates in the 1960s. This debate was one where television was just coming into the foray. Individuals prior to this could only hear individuals talking on the radio, and this was the first time television would allow you to see your candidates. Now, people who watched the thing on TV saw Nixon sweating profusely, looked at him fumbling about, and thought, dude, this guy's an idiot. And you had next to him a very attractive young Kennedy, composed, delivering his points. Individuals that saw that on television, they thought that Kennedy won the debate. For those that were listening on radio and couldn't see all that and just listened to the points, they thought that Nixon won the debate. Here's where it gets really interesting. Upon conclusion of those debates, political scientists went back and studied their data and found out that there was two separate ways that people process who they are going to vote for and why. If individuals can't see what they look like, their demeanor, their presence, their just physical attractiveness, they're going to listen to just what they hear being said, and they'll judge them on the basis of those factors. However, if they are able to view individuals on television, their physical attractiveness, how they hold themselves, their presentation, that's going to have a huge impact on the way that they vote. What we saw last night from Joe Biden failed both of these endeavors. Go back and do a little experiment. Play the entire debate on YouTube and put the screen down on the table. Just listen to it. And really listen to the two individuals and be honest with yourself about what you're hearing. Trump at least sounds like he's a grown man, like he has a semi-coherent message. No, I am not saying that he used exact facts and figures like a elder statesman. He is doing his Bob Barker, I've got a deal for you thing. That part is true. But in terms of what you heard from Joe in comparison, it was so much worse. His voice sounds weak, old, distant, broken. When he tries to make sentences, they come sometimes, but they're like this. It takes a real long time. You sound like you're listening to someone who has an issue. Now, all nonverbal appearances to one side, we still have the screen on the table. Let's talk about the actual substance of what it was that each candidate was selling. Trump is heavily putting out illegal immigration. He says it's a major issue in our country. I am the person that can fix this. I was ratcheting in this whole thing. I gave you a great market at the same time. Joe has completely screwed up the economy and has done nothing when it comes to illegal immigration. People have died as a result, and I'm the one that can fix it. Joe delivers a message of things are going just fine. This guy is a convicted felon. You guys need to trust in me because while I might have my flaws, I got a great economy going on, and Orange Man bad. Now, I'm just going to simply say this. In an era where illegal immigration is a major issue, where economic factors are at the forefront of people's mind, inflation's a problem, people are having trouble just getting by from check to check. If your message is, I'm going to give you more of the same and maybe I'll do a couple changes, but I'm really going to give you more of what I've already delivered, I'll let you decide whether that's a winning message or not. I think that Trump did a great job of handling J6 and the felony convictions, tying them into lawfare and misrepresentation of individual historical events. And to be fair, I think Biden did a fair job of trying to use them as a weapon, as a way to tear down his opponent, saying, really, you're going to vote for this guy? Look at his background. I think that's a wash for both candidates, to be perfectly honest. Now, pick up your phone. Look at your phone. Watch those debates again. And what we're going to look at, we're going to turn down the volume. Just look at the countenances of the individuals on the screen. And then apply it back to that litmus test I told you earlier. Trump is not a young 30s, 40s Kennedy. I'm not saying that. but he looks like he's got it together. He looks composed. He looks measured. He looks calm. He looks in control. Then go look at Joe. His mouth is open throughout half the debates, where he's just kind of like the old man, the old man jowl drop. And he looks half the times befuddled, confused, like he's trying to get things in order. And there's a couple times he tries to use what we call nonverbal cues to try to tear down his opponents, a mocking laugh, but it comes off kind of as a sneer or a grimace, or he's just kind of like. His facial expressions really did not help his performance, and just his demeanor overall gave the impression of a tired, worn out, impotent old man. And now, as promised, I think both men had one decent line throughout the night. One, though, was just so much better, in my opinion, determined the outcome of the whole debate. Biden was challenged by saying, "You've been in politics for a really long time. Your ideas are old and worn out." And he came back and says, "Yes, I started off as the youngest candidate ever, and now I'm the oldest. And that means I have much more experience than this incompetent boob over here." I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically the substance of what was said. Great line. Absolutely great line. But the orbital nuclear kill shot came from Cheeto Head. When he stepped forward, Joe is having a difficult time of making a point. He's trying to address certain policy issues. The words are coming, but they're not being joined together real well. I think it's around the 15-minute mark if you want to go and play it back. And CNN realizes he's kind of coming off the rails. They cut his mic, and they go to Cheeto Head, and they're kind of like, "Do you want to respond to that?" And Trump says, "I couldn't understand what he was saying, and I don't think he knows what he's saying." That wrapped it up for me in a nice bow. Everything that came after that didn't matter. It wrapped up the package where he's essentially saying this man cannot speak. Even if he could speak, his message is incoherent babble. Why are we listening to this guy? Beautifully done. It's the best kill shot I've seen since the Clinton years, when Clinton's vice president turned to Quayle and said, "I know the Kennedys, and you, sir, are no Kennedy." It was to that level of a nuclear kill shot. One last thing I'd like to add to the whole thing. It really kills me to say this because I am no CNN fan. I'd like to give credit to the CNN moderators for doing an actually great job. They did not interject a lot of their opinions. They asked questions. They tried to hold Trump's feet to the fire. Answer our questions, please. They did not let Biden own the entire endeavor. They did look out for Joe a little bit. You can argue that. That's fine. But they cut off Joe's mic at one point and made Joe look like he just lost his train of thought because his mic had been cut. Overall, I don't think the moderation job was that bad. Anyway, guys, go back and look at this thing. It's a great study in how a person can not only fail the verbal messaging, can not only fail the optics of how you view a person, but can overall just come off the rails and give credence to arguments that this person is totally unqualified for office. Go watch it. It's an absolutely beautiful study. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later.